That night, he could not help but dream of a terrifying curiosity. The man dreamed of clicking one of the forbidden videos. So under the loud thumping of his heart, he watches a hand coming out of an abandoned well. Very soon, an ominous shadow emerges from the inside the well. The man's heart starts beating faster than ever as he watches scene unfold in front of him. A woman starts crawling out of the well, but her face cannot be seen behind the curtain of her thick and black hair. She slowly approaches the screen and crawls out of it. The man becomes scared out of his wits, but the things are only starting now. The girl ghost finally stands straight and looks down on the man. She growls at him with all her might, but something is definitely wrong. The ghost in question is only a few inches in height. Perhaps it is due to the fact that she is uncustomary tiny now, which led to her accursed strength being stricken from her like an infant. The tiny Sadako keeps trying to haunt the nameless man. For example, when he arrives home from work, while he is sleeping, and even when he is trying to leave the home for work. But the problem is that the poor Sadako is too tiny to scare him and even loses all her strength in the attempt. She exhausts herself to unconscious, but fortunately the nameless man notices her. So when she wakes up, she finds herself lying on a paper pillow with a handkerchief over her, working as a blanket. Furthermore, she also finds a plate of cookies near her that she eats to fill her empty stomach. When the man comes home from work, he greets as if he is living with someone. Upon entering, he notices the empty plate and a note on the table. Not only the font and the color of the writing is too horrifying, even the spellings are wrong. The nameless man assumes that the Sadako probably wanted to say thanks, but he is not too sure. A plate full of rice crackers lies on the table, and Sadako is taking her sweet time to enjoy one of them. She notices something zoom behind her and looks back, only to find a cockroach sitting on the plate of rice crackers. She finds him disdainful for having the audacity to enter her territory and sighting on her snacks. So she does what she is best at, that is frightening the cockroach. Sadako does her best, but the cockroach is not so affected and jumps over her to escape. Of course, Sadako chases after him frantically, but the cockroach escapes under the table to get rid of her. Sadako chases him even under the table, but something is wrong. A moment later, an army of angry cockroaches is after her, pulling and biting on her dress. Sadako runs away frenziedly to save herself and finally climbs up a shelf. There are figurines on the shelf, and Sadako gets an idea after looking at a warrior figurine. The cockroaches are enjoying the plate of rice crackers, but their party is soon to end because Sadako jumps at them from above with a sword she presumably borrowed from the warrior figurine along with the fighting gear. The sword proves to be a lethal weapon for the cockroaches, especially in her hands. The nameless man comes home from work after a long day but is shocked as soon as he enters. Before him is the warrior Sadako, standing amongst the unalived bodies of her enemies, soaking in their blood. The nameless man cries in such a way that we have no choice but to remember the reference to episode 78 of the famous show, JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. The reason of his sorrow is the sacrifice of his precious figurine in this battle of territory. We will all remember the sacrifice of the poor soul. The nameless man is still sobbing over his lose, but he has to clean the battlefield, so he does so while sobbing. Watching him clean, Sadako realizes that she is also dirty from her previous fight, so she decides to take a dip in the cup. Fortunately, the man stops her on time and prepares a warm bath for her reluctantly. Sadako soaks herself in the warm water and feels grateful towards the man. When she gets up, the man proves his gentlemanliness by covering his eyes and offering her a towel. Furthermore, he also helps her dry off through a hairdryer and looks at the washed clothes of Sadako. She still needs something to wear, so the man looks around to find her some clothes. His sight falls on his figurine collection, and the next thing we know is that Sadako is wearing a shirt robbed from a powerless doll. The man looks at Sadako, who is looking gorgeous in her new attire, and he comes up with a brilliant idea of the century. The delivery guy drops off the package that the nameless guy receives. He looks excited when he brings the package inside. After a while, he begs Sadako, but she is clueless about his plea. However, she gets the answer to her curiosity soon enough when it shows her a maid outfit of her size. The nameless man, being an otaku, requests her to wear the maid outfit. Sadako does not know what to make out of this situation, so she follows his wishes and dresses up. The results are fabulous when she even provides fan service by posing for the man. The hopeless otaku is beyond happy and even takes her pictures excitedly. Sadako has no idea as to why the man looks that happy. The man looks at his camera to view his masterpiece, but the things take a dark turn. The reason being Sadako's horrifying possess that were only visible in the camera. The man makes a difficult but fast decision of deleting the images. Sadako is watching a horror show on the screen. Ironic, isn't it? The nameless man asks if she can return back to the screen the way she came from. Sadako explains that when a ghost appears from the screen, it has to scare and take the life of the owner for it to go back. Since she has yet to make him scared and take his life, she cannot return to the screen. The man is in a pinch since he cannot offer his life. He looks at the calm and collected Sadako enjoying the show and ponders on something. Then, he shows his craft skill and comes up with a pot specially designed for Sadako. She goes to sit in it and finds it comfortable. She is happy to receive the gift and goes inside it to take the rest for the night. The next morning, she comes out of it as horrifyingly as she can be and notices something over her head. There seems to be a chat box over her head that looks like the doing of the nameless man who is proud of his invention. However, Sadako does not like the gift so much and throws it at his face. The nameless man yawns and lazily sits in front of the computer, thinking of checking the Sadako 1/6 account that he made. It had 0 followers up till now, but now the followers have reached above 30,000. The man is fully awake now after looking at this surprise and even starts sweating due to the shock. He goes on a shopping spree online and buys new outfits for Sadako. The next thing we know is a Sadako fashion show in all kinds of outfits and costumes. Even she gets tired after the hard work, so the man offers her a plate full of cookies as a compensation. A woman sits in a dark room in front of the computer with some questionable magazines on the side. She seems like a fan of Sadako as she excitedly saves every picture of her uploaded on her account. The nameless man is sitting in a cafe, seemingly waiting for someone. This otaku had no choice but to come here after receiving a message on Sadako's account. Shortly, a woman appears in front of him, full of smiles. She greets and introduces herself as the editor of the Spice Girl magazine. The man looks at her business card and tells her that he also likes the Spice Girl magazine. The woman tells him that she loves Sadako and would like to interview her. The man is so shocked to hear that he spilled his juice. He thinks that if Sadako is ever found out, she would be taken into custody by the agencies. So he declines the woman in an instant and quickly takes his leave, not giving the woman any chance to stop him. The woman thinks deeply of his reaction and wonders if Sadako is actually chained and forced by him to do the shoots and other horrible activities against her will. The woman stands up at her thoughts and decides to follow the man. The woman follows the man to his apartment and is determined to know the truth. She climbs up the window to analyze the situation and finds a miniature Sadako on the spot. Sadako instinctively makes a horrifying face and the woman follows by making an equally frightened face. She is in fact so scared that she loses her grip and is about to fall, but fortunately the man arrives on time to save her. Now is the interrogation time and the woman deeply apologizes for her actions. The man feels heartbroken that he was perceived in such a way, making the woman feel guilty even more. He tells her the whole story at last. The woman likes Sadako, but Sadako has yet to reciprocate her feelings. The woman gets easily scared when Sadako frightens her. The nameless man decides to make tea for the uninvited guest but realizes that he is out of tea leaves. The man leaves to get the tea leaves from the grocery store while the woman waits in his apartment. He comes back shortly only to find that both the woman and Sadako are missing. The normal train of thoughts would lead to believe that the woman took Sadako away, but the reality is quite different from what it seems. When the man left, the woman politely kept sitting while looking around the house and the figurines that are displayed on the shelf. Sadako sits on the windowsill enjoying the cookie when a trespasser enters the room from the window. The said trespasser is a pigeon that looks like a dragon in front of the tiny Sadako. The woman also notices it and watches a fight for the cookie between the pigeon and Sadako. The pigeon gets pissed and grabs Sadako in his claws. The woman throws her own cookie at the pigeon that hits it, making it lose its grip on Sadako, and she falls into the bushes. The woman runs at her full speed to save Sadako. Sadako lies flat on the ground among the bushes and leaves. She gets up, but another enemy approaches her from the behind. She looks back to find a kitten that very much looks like a tiger to Sadako. The woman is frantically looking for Sadako when she notices some movement in the bushes. She approaches to find an ongoing battle between Sadako and the kitten. The kitten is about to land a paw attack when the woman grabs it from behind. The woman is able to save Sadako, but the kitten is not so happy and frees itself from the woman's clutches using a special cat technique. The woman extends a hand towards Sadako, looking very kind and friendly. On the other hand, the nameless man finds Sadako and the woman gone and is still in a shock when the two of them return safely. The woman looks proud as if she just completed a mission to save the world, and Sadako gives a thumbs up to express herself. The nameless man is wondering something. His apartment is on the 3rd floor, so how come the woman was able to climb up to the window despite being it too high? The woman shyly explains that she used to be overweight, so she decided to hit the gym to lose some weight. The trainer was a muscle enthusiast that helped her through her journey of weight loss. However, instead of getting slim, she ended up building muscles under the influence of the muscle enthusiast trainer. To climb up, she used the sheer power of her muscles to climb up the pole and go up. Even though the woman is embarrassed of her story, the man and Sadako approves her muscles. Someone knocks at the door. The nameless man opens the door to find the editor woman with some snacks. However, something is different about her. She is no longer the plain-looking lady with the power of makeup. The woman greets the main objective of her visit, that is of course the tiny Sadako. However, the woman is unable to read any expressions of Sadako due to the heavy black blanket of hair on her face. The woman asks how does Sadako look like, but the man is as clueless as her. Sadako answers their curiosity and reveals her face, which is not well received by both the man and the woman. The woman comes up with an idea and prepares her makeup tools. She starts working on Sadako's face hectically and looks quite proud of herself when she is done. The man gets curious to find her like that and takes a peek at Sadako. He is utterly shocked to find a beautiful and dignified Sadako. The results are truly fabulous, all thanks to the power of makeup. Sadako blushes due to the attention she is receiving, and the man finds that cute. The woman suggests to take pictures, so the man becomes the cameraman and takes a beautiful picture of Sadako, which is later framed as well. The woman wants to try the next outfit on Sadako, but the man has mixed feelings about it. A doll lies in a box that looks like a coffin. The owner of the doll is looking at it, fully knowing that this is a cursed doll. We do not get to know his intentions because his mother comes to ask for help with the toy shop. Today is a special sale, so it is no wonder that there is a long line of customers. So the owner of the cursed doll leaves in a hurry, leaving the doll all alone in his room. One of the customers is the editor woman who has come to get the sale doll. She stands in a long line and worries as she watches the amount of dolls decreasing with each customer. Her worries prove to be valid because the doll is already sold out when it is her turn. The salesperson comes up with an idea and offers the doll with an increased price. The woman is more than happy to pay extra to get her special doll, so she agrees. The salesperson goes to his room to get the doll from his own collection but finds the cursed doll at his feet. Thinking that his mother dropped it perhaps, he does not pay it any mind and packs the sales doll for the woman. The woman pays $40 and happily leaves with the doll in her hand. The doll looks beautiful, but her eyes move suddenly. The woman invites the man over her house. Sadako of course came with him, riding his shoulder. The man looks around the apartment and finds a collection of figurines that belongs to the woman, and he approves. The woman thinks of something and goes into her room to grab something. She happily enters the dark room and finds that her newly bought doll is not in her box. She gets a premonition and looks back in terror. On the other hand, the man and Sadako are helping themselves to snacks provided by the host. The man realizes that the woman has been gone for too long and goes to check on her. He notices some drops of blood at the entrance of the room, so knows that something is amiss. He rushes inside the room and finds the woman tied up in a corner. He is about to go help, but there is something omniums beside him. He turns on time to see an evil-looking doll jumping towards him with a knife in her hand. The doll is about to slash him, but fortunately Sadako arrives just at the moment to stop the incoming knife with a knife of her own. The man helps the woman out of the room while Sadako faces the enemy ahead. Sadako and the evil doll stand against each other, both facing each other head-on. Without any announcement, a battle starts between the two of them. They are engaged in a fierce fight, each one not backing away in the slightest. After exchanging many moves, the evil doll realizes that she lost an arm and a leg. But that is not all. Next is her neck, targeted by Sadako. The evil doll is unable to dodge the attack and grabs the incoming knife in her teeth. Sadako kicks her in the stomach, and the impact causes the evil doll to hit the wall. Terror can be seen in the lifeless eyes of the evil doll. Sadako raises her hand and gives the evil doll a thumbs down because she proved to be even less of an enemy than the pigeon and the kitten. Sadako grabs the knife and starts walking towards the evil doll. The evil doll remembers the time when her creator finally succeeded in making her after experimenting with a ton of dolls. The evil doll seemed to not give up anytime soon and thinks of a plan. On the other side, the man helps to treat and bandage the woman's wounds. The evil doll comes flying down and hits the ground behind him. She is completely broken and Sadako is the one to do it. The man feels relieved for a moment, which does not last for long. A figurine attacks him from behind with a knife on his neck. Fortunately, the woman grabs the figurine and smashes it on the wall, perishing it. She looks behind to see all the figurines walking towards them with an ominous aura. The ominous figurines walk towards them, finally attacking them on a short distance. The woman puts her training to use and fights back. She is about to be attacked from a close distance, but Sadako saves her. The two of them fight back to back and seem to be whining, but a figurine binds a rope to the table and uses it to trip the woman and make her fall. She hits her head on the bookshelf and falls unconscious. Furthermore, the bookshelf becomes unsteady due to the impact and is about to fall on the woman, but the man notices and runs to take the whole shelf on his back. The bookshelf is already heavy enough, and to top it off, a figurine takes advantage of the situation to attack the man with a pair of scissors. The man closes his eyes, but after a while he opens them only to find Sadako being stabbed by the scissors. Sadako sits with the scissors stabbed in her body and removes them to start fighting once again. She does her best, but the figurines are too many for her to fight alone. The man pushes the bookshelf backwards and rushes to help Sadako. His heart sinks when he sees that Sadako has been stabbed too many times and is starting to vanish. He attempts to grab her from the pile of figurines but only grasps the knife. Sadako has completely vanished from this world. He tries to digest this truth, but he does not have too much time to spare because the figurines have started to gather around the unconscious woman. The man kicks and punches the figurines away in a fury, but another enemy has returned to the battlefield. The evil doll has attacked a knife in place of her missing arm and a screw in place of her missing leg. She attacks the man without a notice, so the two stand in front of a large screen, ready to involve in a fierce fight. On the screen, there is an old well that seems to be a ray of hope. Sadako peeks out of her specially designed cup and craves a cookie. She jumps down and rushes towards the kitchen. Using the special Sadako athletic techniques, she easily reaches the cupboard, grabs the box of cookies, and successfully lands on the ground. She is on her way to enjoy the fruit of her labor when the fork and knife stands is about to fall on her. The woman comes dramatically to steady the stand. The woman feels relieved, but Sadako does not understand her actions. The woman realizes that Sadako did not feel in danger and asks what would happen if the knives were to fall on her. Sadako explains that she normally lives in a well inside the screen and occasionally comes out to scare the owner of the house. She has full life force initially with a 3-star level, but once she is attacked, her energy starts depleting and she vanishes at the end of it. After vanishing, she simply returns to the well while fully remembering the person who harmed her. Once that person leaves the house, she follows him. And once he turns on the screen at a new place, she reappears to take her revenge. She even gets an infinity energy and 7-star level. The woman shivers after hearing all this. Now to the present, where the man and the evil doll are facing each other in a deadlock. Making use of the previous information, the woman wakes up and turns on the screen. In front of their eyes, Sadako extends a hand from the well and crawls out of the screen. She looks even more ominous and powerful than before, no longer tiny. The evil doll notices the threats and uses all other figurines to transform into a transformer form that is the same height as Sadako. Without wasting any time, Sadako and the transformer engage in a fight. Both look at par with each other at first, but we soon notice that Sadako has an advantage because of her infinite energy and 7-star level that helps her counter the attacks instantly. She grabs the transformer from the neck, but the evil doll at the hand detaches herself, rushes to attack Sadako. However, Sadako uses her other hand to grab her and looks at her furiously. She then moves her in front of her and shrieks so loud that not only the evil doll but also the man is affected by the impact. The evil doll ultimately perishes and the transformer breaks down after her fall. On the other hand, the man is so affected by the shrieking that he loses consciousness and is about to fall, but Sadako comes forward to support him. Through his half-open eyes, he can see the well in the screen until his sight completely becomes dark. When he wakes up, the first thing he sees is the woman crying over him. She hugs him tightly after he wakes up. The man reciprocates the hug. Shortly after, when the woman has calmed down a bit, he asks about Sadako. The woman looks over at the screen and all they can see is a white as snow screen. At the toy store, the woman puts down a cardboard full of figurines and the evil doll, all broken due to the previous fight. She is angry at the shopkeeper and accounts all the things that the evil doll has done to them. The shopkeeper does not understand what she is saying and takes a look at the cardboard. He is shocked to find so many damaged figurines and dolls and even looks excited. He immediately takes out the money from his purse and hands it over to the woman to buy all the goods in the cardboard. He looks super suspicious, so the man and the woman take a peek at him. They find him open a cupboard full of broken dolls. The man and the woman had enough of the ominous dolls, so they shriek and make a run for it. It is the Christmas Eve, so the man and the woman are out on a date. The man notices a poster of a movie with a well on it. The movie looks like a horror one based on a Sadako, so they decide to go watch it. On the other side, a comet from space arrives at Earth. The public notices the strange entity taking a shape of a transformer alien. The people are shocked by his sudden appearance and even start taking photos of it. The alien walks in the city leisurely until he starts shooting lasers from his eyes. The people start running for their lives. The news even reaches inside the cinema, so the people start to rush out. When leaving, the man notices the well he once saw appear on the large cinema screen. The alien is still walking inside the city when something hits the building and emerges from the smoke. The man and the woman can tell in an instant that the newcomer is Sadako. She stands in front of the alien, who can feel that she is a threat with her size growing to match its own size. The two start fighting and Sadako looks stronger than ever, even dodging the lasers and grabbing the alien's head to knock him over. She then starts gathering energy from nearby. The man thinks that she is going to shriek like before, so he covers his ears due to trauma. However, Sadako does not shriek. Instead, she uses the energy to blast the alien. The debris flies everywhere. Once it is clear, the man watches Sadako standing in front of them and feels both happy and relieved. Both of them thumbs up towards each other. Sadako turns away and leaves among the tall buildings while the crowd cheers for her. Lesson learned: Sadako never die. The end.